Welcome to the Entrepreneurial CEO Podcast, where we dive into the real stories behind building and scaling a business. Each episode, we sit down with CEOs, founders, and leaders to uncover hard-won lessons in leadership, systems, and team building. Listen in each week to learn directly from real business leaders who have been in your shoes, had success, made the mistakes, and all of the messiness that comes with building a business. If you're ready to learn from real-world leaders and gain insights you can apply today, you're in the right place. So let's get started. Hey, everybody. Welcome back. Julia, thanks so much for being here.
Thank you, Andre, for having me.
All right, everybody. Today's guest is Julia Duran, CEO of South Geeks. They are a nearshore software staffing company. They've been growing and leading for the past 8 years. Julia has grown the business to a 50-person team, roughly. They're doing great, growing, surpassing 5 million in revenue, predominantly serving biotech and fintech clients. Along the way, Julia bought out her co-founder, which I want to learn more about, and has been growing the business. They're doing great, especially, we're going to talk about it today, the advancements in AI and automation and all the different agentic technology. I want to hear about how that's impacting the business. I think that'll be super interesting for all the listeners. But it's been an amazing business. Want to hear more about her role as the leader of the company and how she's navigating all these different changes in the market. So Julia, thanks so much for being here.
Thank you. I'm excited to talk about all this.
Yeah. So before I pepper you with questions, maybe just tell the audience a little bit more about yourself or about South Geeks.
Yeah, sure. You probably noticed my accent. I'm from Argentina originally. I live in the Netherlands because I married a Dutchman. And I lived in California before coming here, which was a huge cultural and time zone difference as well. My career initially was on technology. I was always in technology. I was a software developer myself, working for these big corporations as IBM, Verizon, and Hewlett Packard. That was back in Argentina when I was in my 20s, and these corporations gave me very good training and opened the world to me because I got the opportunity of working with US clients through them. And that's how I learned about this opportunity of doing nearshoring services and how Latin American talent was helping also U.S. companies as well, and well, it all started from there. And we've been building software development teams and technical teams and data engineering teams for 8 years now with amazing clients in some amazing projects. Some of them have a very strong mission, especially the ones that have to do with biotech, and have a very strong mission in the core of the existence of the business. And we really love working with clients that are really committed with what they're doing and trying to actually add value to society.
So what's the model? Is it that you're placing part-time employees, contract, full-time? How do people work with South Geeks?
Yeah, we do full-time only. We don't believe very much in part-time. Like, when you have someone working, except for management roles where the seniority is there and you probably have like more of a consultancy model. But for a software developer, it never worked for me when I was one of them, just to be part-time allocated to one project and part-time allocated to the other. In part because software development is a job that usually has a lot of cycles, and sometimes the cycles from one client and the other can overlap. And we want to make sure that we are there for when our clients need us the most. So no, we don't do part-time. It's full-time, long-term. Most of our clients have been with us for longer than 5 years, which is also a nice pat in the back, right? Which, as a business owner, these kind of facts are very good for seeing if what we are doing is going well. And yeah, so the model, basically, we build these teams. We have 3 different models within the same business, but In a nutshell, we build these teams, and they start working with our clients, and we keep an eye on culture, HR, finance,
Mm,
everything that needs to be kept at bay for these people to actually be able to be productive.
yeah. I think, the fact that your clients stay with you for 5+ years is certainly a pat on the back, but it's also, as a business owner, you can't just be rebuilding your client list every year, right?
Yeah,
Like,
yeah,
it doesn't stack that way. So if you really want to grow the business, it has to be that the business just stacks, the clients just stack. And so, the recurring revenue every year, if you're churning out your clients all the time, it's really hard to grow that way.
yeah.
So that's awesome. That means you guys have a valuable service and a valuable company you're delivering, yeah.
Yeah, but funny enough, I know of some of our competitors that actually have a very different perspective on this. They have a very strong sales team, getting new
Hmm.
clients all the time, and then they're like squeezing the clients sometimes in detriment of their own credibility. A lot. We have a different idea. We are more long term in all of our relationships. Um, and also in a way is also working for us in that we don't need to do sales. That of course we're constantly selling, but we don't need to do business development as much as if we were going to find clients every month. And it allows us to know our clients better, understand their culture better, and
Yeah.
just be a better partner.
But imagine if you paired those two together,
Yeah,
right? Like, imagine if you had your long-term view
yeah,
and your ability to retain the customer or client or whatever you call them, and but also had that strong sales team. So you're pouring more into the top all the time, but you're not like that competitor of yours. Maybe they're churning out 30% or 40% every year. So they
yeah,
have to be just adding so many more in,
yeah,
right? So if you
yeah.
paired those two, man, the company would be so much more powerful and grow, right?
Totally, totally.
Yeah.
And that has been I think we have a lot of awareness um on what's working and what's not working, and that is our Achilles heel.
Mm,
We have not been good in creating sales teams,
okay.
and that is something we're working very hard to resolve. I have a solid board of advisors, and and it's almost they're obsessed with two things: differentiation, and then finding the correct sales representatives for us. So
Yeah.
yeah, that's where we are going and what we are working on at
I
the
think
moment.
that's smart. I'd probably look at the same thing. That's,
Yeah, yeah,
man, just if you have this amazing product and the metrics are there to back it up, how do you just add fuel to that by putting on an
yeah,
amazing sales org?
yeah.
So we sort of jumped ahead a little bit, but tell me about, I mean, one of the things I'm curious, this is not it's a competitive market, I
Hmm.
imagine.
Yeah,
How do you guys stand out? How do you mentioned your board talks about the differentiation. How do you go about that? How do you think about that?
yeah. I think we're basically working with people. Every company is working with people, but for us, people is in the center of everything we do. One of the main differentiators we have is our attrition day rate is incredibly low. We
Mm,
right now is at 2%.
wow.
um and when the market was crazy, revolving and everything, it was around between 3 and 4%. So we have almost non-attrition in this in technology, which is very non-standard. I think we have a very good culture that allows us to, as I was mentioning, know our clients very well and know what works for them and not. And I think there are a lot of companies out there that can just like build a software development team for you. It's not rocket science, definitely. But I think it's very unique the way we do our matching, in a sense that those matches like almost never fail. And it's fantastic to see how that works, and how that satisfaction is not just in the at the meeting point, but also it continues. Like we keep on developing people. Right now, we're of course, everyone is talking about AI, and our main concern is how do we help these individuals, whether they are working with us or not in 20 years, but to be on top of everything that's happening and get trained on everything that is going to be relevant for their careers. And
Mm,
we understand where they want to take their careers. We know we have technical people that actually want to be in a complete different industry. So with them, we know their career path is going to focus on different things that someone that wants to become a CTO in 10 years, for example, right? So
yeah.
we have different training paths and different ways of coaching different individuals, and we think that's the secret to create long lasting relationships with everyone.
So are you referring to, so let's say somebody has aspirations from going from X to a CTO, right? Whatever
Yeah.
role they're in now to CTO. Are you referring to the person that you're placing inside a client?
Yeah.
Okay. And okay, so I'm that person. Maybe I'm a head of engineering or a VP of engineering, and I want to be a CTO.
Yeah.
You identify, I'm assuming sometimes they're not rock stars and they're lacking certain skills.
Yeah.
Because it's to be a CTO, right? Now you've got, you have, depending on the stage of the company, all sorts of different skill sets:
Exactly.
managerial, people skills, leadership skills,
Product.
presentation. Maybe you got to
Mm-hmm.
deal with the board.
Mm-hmm.
There's a lot.
Yeah.
How do you give them that education, coaching, training internally, or do you look to third party resources for that?
Yeah, a combination. And I think it goes beyond the individual, but we also have that conversation with the client as well, because
Mm,
they need to know if they can rely on this professional for 5 years or 10 years or how long, right? And and also the conversation we have is this person is going, and the CTO is an extreme case because there's
yeah.
usually one CTO per company. So that will require a very big commitment from the client to say yes, we will be able to offer that position for him, but or her. Um, but in other cases, it's just like how can we help this individual getting where they want. Um, but also how can those skills favor the client's needs at this
Yeah.
point? And
Yeah.
if it's a startup and you're talking with someone that wants to become a CTO in 10 years, okay, this can be a fantastic opportunity, because how are we going to give this person the strategic mindset? Usually in a startup, you need to use a lot of hats, and you need
Hmm.
every individual to contribute in an amazing way, even more than or a different way than in a corporation, right? How can we very fast train this person and expose this person to the situations that they need to be exposed to get a strategic mindset, to get excellent communication skills, to get good negotiation skills? Like, how can we do all that? And we have some internal um training that we do, and not just training. We have an internal coach, we
Mm.
have an internal therapist, even to work through emotions
Wow.
that happens since the pandemic. We noticed, like, well, people actually, like, we are rounded professionals, right? So what happens
Most
here?
50-person companies don't have that,
Yeah, I assume.
right?
I assume.
Yeah.
Yeah, I assume. But for us, it's important. Emotions and being able to develop, and like it's all intertwined, right? If I'm having a bad
Yeah.
personal time, I'm gonna impact my job as well. So
Totally. Absolutely. Yeah.
so yeah. And then some things we just look for outside. Like, we are not able to train everyone in the way we want,
Yeah.
as we want. So some things are not just technical, but some specific skills. And for example, recently we gave a training on AI and security, data
Mm.
security, and we are not experts on this. We had to go and find an SME that could provide
Yeah.
um, the tools that we wanted to give to the team. So yeah, it's a combination.
That's great. When you look to the next 12 to 36 months,
Yeah.
what are your big goals for South Geeks? And what do you think might get in the way?
Wow, I'm lucky. I'm very happy you said months, because when you said 12 years, I don't know. Um, Yes, of course. One of the in everyone's agenda right now is how do we adapt to incorporate AI,
Mhm.
not just in an agentic way with our staff, but also in the mindset of everyone in the company. And we don't have we know it's critical. Some of our competitors are a little worried of like what's gonna happen, because honestly, how is this going to work for our specific service? But the mindset that we have is more like, with all the AI tools out there, what what can't we do, right? It
Mm.
gives this endless opportunities. So my number one goal is trying to get as much certainty as we can from the endless uncertainty that we are receiving. Um, Finish putting together the sales team that we've been working on,
Okay.
and I think we have this very beautiful business that we are ready to scale. So everything is ready to have a very good explosion of new businesses coming.
I love it. Do you have um, a structured annual planning process? Do you guys go through like, hey, here's where we are at the end of 2024. By the end of 2025, we need to be here. Here's
Yeah,
how we're going to get there. Like, how do you go about that?
yeah. By the end of the year, we usually have a workshop with the managers where this has been very cool to give an example of how AI helped in this. But we go through everything that went that we went through in that certain year. We analyze like what is a lesson learned, what is something to celebrate,
Mm,
and we just like take a look at the past away, and then sitting on that and the long term plan that we have. Okay, what do we want for the next year?
mm,
One thing that AI has been very cool to collaborate with was this year. What we are doing is with all the meetings being recorded and the note taker taking care of everything. We just and we I did the exercise the other day to see what would we got, what would we get. So we put all the transcripts into a system, and we said, okay, if we were to have the workshop today, what would be the what would be the highlights, what would be the things, and just organize and do some reflections. And it was fantastic to have all that done. That it was a very minor process, have all that done, and then kind of the strategic meeting is pre-chewed by this tool. So
mm.
but yeah, that's how we go at it by the end of the year, and then we
Okay.
cascade it in different goals. And then each area has its goals, and we check progress.
Okay. And what's so you get together, you set out your plan for the year. What's the cadence or process you have to make sure that you're marching towards that goals and making progress towards throughout the year?
Yeah.
Hi, if you're a CEO out there who's struggling with focus for your company, aligning your team, accountability, if you're struggling with execution, connecting the dots from where you're at to where you want to be, we've got a great program for you here at MAP. My name is Michael Cato. I'm the CEO. Most importantly, I was a client for 15 years, sold my company to a public company, and then bought MAP so that we can help other entrepreneurs with this specific problem. We're a 60-year-old company. We've worked with 170,000 individual executives and CEOs. We've worked with 15,000 organizations. This is what we do. Click the link below to learn a little bit more about how people just like you, CEOs, have transformed their business and ultimately transformed their life by running through the MAP system.
In the middle of the year, we have this moment where we sit and we say, where are we standing, how are we going? But every quarter we analyze the results, like the KPIs, and we see where
Yeah.
we are, what do we need to adjust, and we make adjustments. So that's a quarterly process.
Okay. And are you setting goals for the quarter? Like if I'm a department head, do you have how's the team structured? You have 50 people. Do you have
Yeah.
department heads?
Yes, we have. Of course, we're a very lean structure,
Sure.
but
Yeah.
staff is divided into like people that do engagement support to the client,
Mm,
people that do finance, people that do finance admin, legal, all the paperwork related stuff, people that do recruiting, and people that do marketing and communications.
okay.
And they each have their goals and they each have their initiatives. So we have our goals of how we're gonna, like, what we want to do. We also have our regular day-to-day processes, of course,
Yeah.
with SOPs
Yeah.
and everything. We are very, very organized.
That's
And
awesome.
then we have an instance per quarter of initiatives. Initiatives is everything that we are doing for improving either a process or
Mm,
like what we're doing or something unusual that we want to create. And that becomes an initiative. And we check on that every quarter as well.
okay. And eventually, you mentioned a bunch of departments. Eventually, sales department too. Sounds like you're
Yes.
building
Well,
that out.
I've been sales. We have external sales people as well, and
Oh, okay.
yeah, I forgot my own department, of course.
But you're building that out because you mentioned that's a focus.
Yeah, I mean
Yeah.
the processes are there, the tools are there. Of course, we have a CRM. Of course, we have a lot of things in place.
Yeah.
And we had some sales professionals in the past. We could not find um we could not find the sweet spot of we are a Latin American um creative company, but we are a US company, of course, in that our
Mhm.
clients are there and we're registered there. It's been hard for us to see where to position most of the sales I've done myself. And then we got a lot of referrals from our clients, and that was fantastic, but we got a little lazy through that. So then we stopped creating the opportunities.
Yeah.
And now we are in a moment where we want to not just receive the business opportunities that get on our lap, but just go proactively to find the opportunities that we want to align with.
100%. I've been in businesses just like that that have it's literally gone through that same experience where it's like, hey, you have this amazing product or service. You're getting clients referring you business all the time. It's easy to be like, hey, we're cool. We've
Yeah,
got it coming in.
yeah,
And then you have to shift, right?
yeah,
So then you have like, okay, no, no, no. We need to be proactive. We have to go
yeah,
hunt new opportunities because why not? We have this amazing product or service that
yeah,
can help more customers. Why not? Right?
yeah, yeah.
Have that growth mindset.
Yeah, and we want to be intentional as well on what kind of clients we want to work with. And not every
Mm,
client is the same.
hmm.
We are very fortunate that I was just today writing in LinkedIn. I had these meetings with clients, face to face meetings last week. I was in California, and I came out of the meetings thinking, wow, I really like our client. It's the conversations were inspiring.
That's awesome.
Yeah, we really like them, and we are very fortunate. And I think we need to keep on working with people that are aligned with our culture, aligned with where we want to be.
Totally.
We we like companies with a mission, like so, and we need to be
Yeah.
more intentional on how and where to find them. So
You can be selective. That's great.
yeah,
Hey, it's awesome to
that's
be in a
exactly.
position where you can be selective, where you don't have to say yes to every business. And I think your employees will value that. And I
Yeah,
think your clients will value that. And that leads to higher LTV, right? When it's a
yeah,
win-win on both sides. Going back to the initiatives for a second. So you mentioned that you have that annual planning process and you
yeah,
break it down into quarterly cadence where you're
yeah,
reviewing and
yeah,
then, the a mid-year check-in.
yeah,
If you had to guess,
yeah,
when you have those quarterly reviews,
yeah.
how many of the goals do you think are marked as done? Or how many are like, hey, we missed it, we're going to roll it forward, or we need to adjust? How many get completed?
Um, Not all of them, definitely.
Of course, of course.
I would say 70%. It's funny how
Okay.
this works because then you have an opinion, and then I will go. I do this exercise of tracking my time sometimes
Yeah.
because I'm so convinced of like this is how I'm using my time, and then I do the time tracking for 1 or 2 weeks because I'm like I think I'm not doing my time management properly. And then I'm
Mm.
always surprised with the results. I'm like, oh, I didn't. So I'm gonna say 70%, but maybe if we check, it's gonna be maybe higher.
Okay.
But I'm gonna go with 70%.
Okay. Well, the reason I ask, well, we always say, number one, if somebody's hitting 100% of their goals, we typically say that they're too easy, right?
Yeah.
I hate that thumbs up thing.
Yeah.
I can't stand
It's
that thing.
funny.
Um, we see is if you hit 100%, they're too easy. You're not setting hard enough goals, right?
Yeah.
You want them to be stretch but attainable. So
Yeah.
like 80% is good, 70 to 80% is good. Um, but we typically say is like the quarterly rhythm, sometimes that's too long. Oftentimes it's too long. We believe
Yeah.
in a monthly rhythm because if you get to the end of the quarter and you've missed 50%, 60%, it's like, well, crap, we just missed 3 months.
Yeah.
If we had been reviewing these every month, we can adjust, right?
Yeah.
Like if you're hitting 100%, great. Now,
Yeah.
what do we do to make these hard, like to push harder as a business?
Yeah.
Or if you completely missed, oh, shoot, what do you need?
Yeah.
What resources do you need? Maybe we set the goals wrong. Maybe we're working on the wrong things. Like that constant iteration seems to, at least with the clients we work with, work a little bit better than the quarterly rhythm. It's just too long in the small.
Yeah.
Maybe if you're in like IBM or something,
Yeah.
quarterly is okay because
Yeah.
it moves at that glacial
Yeah.
pace. But in a startup, you're just moving so fast, you
Yeah.
know?
It's funny that you say that. You're making me think a lot. It's funny that you say that because in our last quarterly review, we said, "Hey, sometimes you just said something, and you're not checking this progress all the time, and you just forget the major things. You don't forget that you need to bring more clients. You don't
Mm.
forget that you need to pay to your employee. You definitely, but some minor things you forget. So now we established a monthly communication where we get like a status progress. So
Yeah.
it's funny that you say maybe it needs to be, maybe it's the frequency, the cadence that needs to be adjusted.
Well, I think what we found is that it helps people accountable. And that's not, people think accountability is a negative word. It's not.
No.
It's just, it keeps them really focused on what matters and
Yeah.
towards the goal. So if I say, okay, by the end of the quarter, we need to acquire 50 new clients, 50 new customers.
Yeah.
You think you have 90 days to get that done. So today, if you're supposed to do something, you're like, I'll do it tomorrow,
Yeah.
right? I've got 90 days. I'll do
Yeah.
it tomorrow.
Yeah.
Now, if I only have 30 days or 20 business days, whatever it is,
Yeah.
man, today really matters. I need to
Yeah.
get it done today. So
Yeah.
it just compresses the timeline and
Yeah.
compresses the urgency and importance,
Yeah.
you
Definitely.
know?
Yeah.
I think that helps a lot.
Yeah. I love
So
it.
let's talk about, you bought out your co-founder,
Yeah.
which was a big deal.
Yeah.
How you stepped in as CEO, or talk about that, what led to that, and talk about how that had to change you as a leader.
Yeah. Yes, it was by the end of 2022. So it's been 3 years already, almost 3 years. It was quite a process.
Yeah.
The transition was particularly hard. So the way we started, we were very lucky in that we got many recommendations at the beginning of people saying never go 50-50 with a partner, which
Mm.
that in a way was fantastic. I started the company initially by myself, and then I asked my friend Nico to join. Um, he he's a super amazing human being. He's fantastic at operation. He's super tidy. He's the Swiss knife you always want to count on. And he's been great, especially at the beginning of the company when there are so many uncertainties. You don't know, like, are we gonna land clients? Are we going to, once you have the clients, like, are they going to pay? Are we going
Mm.
to m- be able to pay our own expenses? Like, everything was unknown, and it was great to have someone else to talk about these things and be in the same boat. And we were 60-40 partners, so that's how we started. It worked very well for the first 3 years. Then we got to a point where I think the company got, as I was saying, comfortable, and he's more conservative than me.
Mm.
And I wanted to keep scaling the company, and he said, I'm good. I have enough with the size the company is right now." And and initially, like, we both heard it, what the other person was saying,
Yeah.
Um, and then it was not until this was manifested in small decisions that we started being impacted by that. Because when you are thinking on, I want to grow this company, then the decisions you make in whatever, ads, marketing, how you hire, how you fire, all the decisions that you make are thought on the long run. Whereas if you don't want to make the company grow, but just like keep the company as it is, which is also a good perspective, but you make decisions that are more conservative all the time.
Yeah.
And at one point, this started touching, and we were like, well, we're just going on different directions, right? Like in a relationship, like someone wants
Hmm.
kids and the other person doesn't. So it's
Growing
very,
apart.
yeah, exactly. And that was a hard conversation to have,
Yeah.
because we were friends, but that was not working. And yeah, but we had the conversation, and I'm very happy with it, because we could have continued in that dynamic, but I think it
Yeah.
could have been not good for the team. um and then he said, well, I'm gonna, it was either sticks to the company. Like for me, it was either growing this company or building a company that was going to grow, because I really like the rhythm.
Yeah.
Um and it made more sense for me to stay, and for him to leave. So we took some time to negotiate how it was going to work, what were the conditions, etc., and then he left. And since then, it's funny that you mentioned how leadership changed. For me, it was a complete transformation. um Nico is, well, first I admire his brain and his heart very much. He's a very good, smart person. Um and he's very conservative, as I mentioned. And he he had a different way of like wanting to understand, be on top of things, and understand how everything was going all the time. I am more uh, of the philosophy of empowering people and letting do their thing.
Okay.
And the shift that happened in the company when he left was very visible, in that people started feeling more. It took some months, but then people started feeling more empowered, and they started being part of the decisions and the conversation.
Mm.
Which in turn for me meant, okay, I can step back, and I can like see how this goes. And at the
Yeah.
beginning, it was a little bit like gave me a little bit of vertigo, but then I was like, these people is smarter than me, so I should
Mm.
maybe I should not say anything. So it was great to see how everyone was adding their own spice, and
Yeah.
we were able to all benefit from that. So it was a transition. Some people at the beginning were like, what's happening? Why are you splitting? I joined this company following the two of you. And one, like they felt a little bit betrayed. What happened? We're a small company, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Uh, but then in the long run, it ended up working very well. And I think it contributed very, very much to the culture of the company. I was I
That's
was
awesome.
thinking on my words very carefully, because I wanted to be respectful of everyone.
Of course.
I have so much respect and admiration for everyone in the process, um, and it's been a journey.
Well, I think I totally understand it. You didn't have a line. It sounds like you didn't have aligned vision and goals, right? And
Definitely,
it sounds a little bit like Nico wanted a lifestyle business, whereas you wanted a growth business where you wanted to really grow South Geeks, and maybe he was okay with it just being a smaller business and, easier to manage, less
yeah,
stress.
yeah. And I
Yeah.
can understand. Maybe at some point in my life, I'm gonna be in the same road, and
Yeah.
I will be fine with that. It's just that it was not aligning with what I wanted at that point, or this point either.
It's a hard conversation to have, but kudos. I mean, it's great that you had it and great that it ended up well.
Yeah,
So I think that at different stages of a company, a CEO needs to do different things and evolve as a leader. As you went from 1 million to 5 million. To think about when you go to 10 or 50 or 100, have you thought about things that I know you work with a coach, right? Like, have you thought about
Mhm.
what are the attributes or things that are there areas where you think that you need to change or improve to get to that next level and next stage? Or yeah, how do you think about that?
Yes, 100%.
Hmm.
Many times I feel highly incompetent for the role, and I'm like, oh, shit. Like the other day, I had this thought. So we have this recruiting team, and I was thinking a lot of like our recruiters have more than 10 years of experience, and I was thinking the recruiters in my company have way more experience in their role than I have in my role,
Hmm.
and I'm the leader of the company, which is funny. Um, yes, I don't know yet what is going to be needed when when we are a 20 million company, or if
Yeah.
I will be the correct person. Maybe I'm not. Maybe I'm the person that founded the company and took it to where we are, and then for and I hope for a little more, but uh then maybe to take it from 10 to 20 million. Maybe another person is possible. I don't know. I'm very thankful that we have the board of advisors, because
Mm.
they are very honest, and I'm sure they will be honest about it too. Um, I think the skill set definitely every time I had to do an upgrade on my skill set, it had to do with emotional intelligence or more soft skills than anything else.
Okay.
Um, so I'm pretty sure it's gonna be something like that. I think training on this decision making as the decisions become more complex is going to be needed as well.
Yeah.
Um, we have amazing leaders. I have an amazing COO in the company.
Oh, great.
So I'm pretty sure that um, she will continue being very good at making sure that the operation works. Um, Something we identified recently was I am not good, and I think some of my team members suffer from the same, that we are not good at communicating our virtues and the good things that we have to offer, and that
Mm.
translates to the company. And that is something that one of my clients say, "Hey, but you are giving me a Ferrari, but I never learned about it. Like, why are you so sucky?" And he was amazing. He said, "Why are you so sucky at communicating?" And I think
Yeah.
this is something
Marketing.
really, yeah, yeah,
Market.
not just marketing, but even the way there are
Yeah.
some people in my team that are so humble, and I appreciate that
Mm.
they're not overselling, but
Right, right, right.
there's too much humbleness can also
Don't
be
hold, yeah, you
damaging.
can't hold it back. You don't wanna
Exactly.
shouldn't be a
Yeah.
secret.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. So I think there's a lot to do on that. Yeah, there are so many skills that I wish I had improved already.
Let's switch gears for a second. I wanna talk about, we talked a little bit on the pre-show about AI
Yeah,
and, with the advancements in, all the AI tools, with things being automated, with even tools like Replit or Lovable,
yeah,
how does it impact your business? Maybe it doesn't, but I'm just curious. Does that impact
it
people's
does.
needs for
Yeah,
South Geeks, or, how do you think about that?
yeah. Definitely, we are impacted. A lot of our engineers are in panic mode. Like, I, I, I'm sure you probably read like Elon Musk saying there's not gonna be a need for software engineering anymore. Like everything
That's
will be
crazy.
an AI machine. That's definitely not what we are hearing from our clients either.
Yeah.
So right now we are focusing on two lines regarding AI. One of them is training everyone, and this is very hard because it's hard to keep up with. Like every day you open the computer and then you see something new that is coming, and that you're like that nobody understands why you don't know it already. So it's very hard to keep up with the technology that is coming, but also we are training everyone on a mindset, and this mindset that we were discussing about what can't we do, but but also how can I use the tools that we have available to improve my efficiency. So we are working on that. I mentioned we are training on data security is changing. The way we access data is changing. The way data is interacting with data among different systems is changing. So everything is changing, and we are trying to keep up and make sure that every team member has all the tools and information available to 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 keep themselves up to speed. The second thing is we are trying to develop agents and to modify our business
Mm,
model, because we see in the future, and we are preparing the company for this, is that you're not going to access as software developer, data engineer, data scientist, whatever role you need from South Geeks just by that person itself. Like, you're gonna have this professional that comes with an army of agents that are
mm,
going to complement what they do. And because the clients that we have are in fintech and biotech, which are highly regulated industries,
right.
they are running a little behind on what they can incorporate to their
Yes.
development teams.
Yeah.
But there's so much to do on compliance and all these
Yeah.
super boring parts of the job that can be now delegated to AI. So there's a lot to be done there. We are working on developing some agents. We are working on agents for the management of the staff.
Hmm.
Um, there are things that we are uh, these kind of things in your company that you're like, well, there are these improvements that we eventually want to do, but we never have the time to do, or we never have the budget to do. That now you can do them by making use of these technologies. So it's been an interesting year, and we are super looking forward to see what's coming. We're early adopters of as much as we can, at least
Yeah.
for trying it out, because we find this fascinating.
I think it's awesome. That's great.
Yeah, yeah,
It's moving. You're right. It is moving so fast.
yeah.
Um, if you could, one last question, because I know we've run a little bit long, but really enjoyed the conversation. If you could wave a wand and change one part, optimize one part of the business, whether it's BD, sales, internal systems, operations, whatever, what would that be and why?
Well, I mentioned sales, and it's been on top of our mind. Um, it it's it's not just that I think it could be done better. I think we've done it in such an artisanal way that it's like the whole company got this seniority and moved forward, but this area is lacking the professionalization. So
Hmm.
um, if I had a magic wand, I would definitely do like boop. Uh, and
Okay.
it's not just impacting the sales area, but also how the whole organization sees or is more commercial, as I was
Yeah.
mentioning
Yeah.
before, our ability to communicate our value, which is there.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Well, that makes a ton of sense. You're in a good spot because many companies have the inverse problem where maybe they have really great sales and they're very aggressive on sales, but the product and the service and the quality is lacking. It sounds
yeah,
like you guys are outstanding there. You said your attrition rate is 2%.
yeah,
So it's really just continuing to build out the sales team and not being so humble
yeah,
when you talk about what you guys do. So that's great.
yeah, yeah, yeah,
Well, Julia, thanks so much for being here. Really appreciate it. It's been a great conversation, and I know you just flew back from California all the way to the Netherlands, and so you
yeah.
must be tired. So thank you.
Thank you.
Before we wrap up, where can folks go to learn more about you, connect with you, or South Geeks?
Yeah, LinkedIn is our number one platform, so you can find South Geeks there. Our website is www.southgeeks.com, and you can find me at julia.duran@southgeeks.com.
All right. Well, thank you again. Thank you everybody for listening, and we will see you next time.
Thank you, Andrea.